In this session, we're going to be talking about paper. You'll notice that we are using Uart paper exclusively, and there's a good reason for this. There is the ability to do effects and achieve results that are not possible with any other paper that I've found. Now, that's not to say that they're not out there, that they don't exist, but I certainly haven't found them. I've done a lot of experimenting with many different types of paper, and this paper gives me the ability to do things that no other paper does. So let me show you what you can expect when you order your Uart paper. It will have a sticker in the corner that will tell you the grade or the grit of the paper. Now, the larger the number, the smaller the grit size, the finer the paper. You can buy it from a 9 by 12 all the way up to a roll of Uart paper if you like. One of the things that you'll notice right away about the Uart paper is that it's not white. It has a creamy, off-white, buff cast to it. For the way that we work in this class, it's not an issue. You bring in your whitest whites with the pastels. You're not saving the whites of your paper. So just be aware that if it comes and it's not white, it's not a problem. As you're thinking about purchasing, I recommend that you start with a 10-pack of 9 by 12 or larger. I would avoid the Uart pad of paper. We don't need to have the paper attached in a pad form because we'll be removing the paper from the pad anyway. So it's an unnecessary feature that actually adds a little more work, and who needs that? With the Uart paper, we will need to secure the paper to a board that is movable. That could be mat board, it could be a drawing board, but some sort of a surface that you can tape it down, that it will be secure on all four sides. As we apply water, it will stay flat. If you would rather not have to mess with taping your paper onto a board, Uart is also available in 3 packs of paper that is pre-mounted to a board surface. These are easily movable, and you don't have to worry about buckling or warping or taping the paper to the board yourself. The trouble with the boards is that they are more expensive, so check the price before you buy. They come in 3 packs, and some of the larger sizes can be bought individually as well. I'm just painting some color in the background that I will demonstrate how to lift out. You see the paint goes on real nice. I'm using my stiffer brushes, which we mentioned before. And you can also see that my paper is starting to rise a little bit. That's what I mean by you will want to tape your paper down. For the sake of demonstration, I'm not doing that. But when we're working in the studio, you'll definitely want to tape your paper down on all 4 sides. This will give you the ability to keep your paper from moving around. I've just applied my paint to the Uart paper, and I'm letting it set a little bit, and then I'm going to lift off. What I mean by lifting off is I apply some water to my brush. I don't want it to be too drippy, it's just a little bit damp, and I'm going to paint on an area that I intend to remove. I can take a tool like my fancy toilet paper ball here and just dab and press into the paint and remove paint as needed. This paper is very responsive to paint removal. It's one of the best features about it. This is just a little example of one that had sat for several months, and then I chose to lift some of the paint off just to see how responsive it would be, and as you can see, quite responsive. You can't bring it back to the pure white, but you can really get most of the paint off of the paper very easily. When I started with this technique, I was using Wallace paper exclusively. It's a paper designed by Kitty Wallace for use with pastels, but it also receives multimedia. Because of difficulties with production and availability, I then switched from Wallace to Uart paper. If you happen to have Wallace paper on hand, this technique works very well with that paper. If you know me, you know that I encourage experimentation. So feel free to try other papers, but make sure that you find a paper that will receive water. Many of the pastel papers will not receive water. So make sure you check that. Make sure that it says that it is multimedia paper, or it may indicate the fact that it just receives water. If you have any questions as you begin to purchase your paper, just send me a note and I'll be happy to help.